ידי נפש הרחמן משוך עבדה אל רצונה. ידי נפש הרחמן משוך עבדה אל רצונה. ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל, ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל, ישתחווה מול הדרך, כי רב לא ידיד אותך, מנוף עצוב וחוטא, כי רב לא ידיד אותך, מנוף עצוב וחוטא. אדוני זיו העולם, נפשי חולת אהבתה. אדוני זיו העולם, נפשי חולת אהבתה. אנא אלנה רפנה לה, אנא אלנה רפנה לה, בערות לה נועם זיבה, אז תתחזק ותתרפא, הייתה לך שפחת עולם. אז תתחזק ותתרפא, הייתה לך שפחת עולם. ותהיה מורחם לך, וחוסנה הרבה אוהבה. ותהיה מורחם לך, וחוסנה הרבה אוהבה. כי זה כמה נקצוף נקצף, כי זה כמה נקצוף נקצף, לראות בתפארת עוזך. אנא לי מחמד ליבי, ואל תתעלם. אנא לי מחמד ליבי, ושנה ואל תתעלם. יגלנה ופרוץ חביב עלי את סוכת שלומה. יגלנה ופרוץ חביב עלי את סוכת שלומה. תאיר ארץ מכבודך, תאיר ארץ מכבודך, נגילה ונשמחה בה. מהר אהוב כי בא מועד, וכונני כי לעולם. מהר אהוב כי בא מועד, וכונני כי לעולם. יא נה 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 נה, יא נה 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 נה, יא נה נה יא נה נה יא נה נה נה, יא נה 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 יא נה 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 נה, יא נה נה יא נה נה יא נה נה, יא נה נה 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 נה, יא נה נה יא נה נה יא נה נה יא נה נה יא.
Shabbat Shalom, friends. What a beautiful start to Shabbat that was. Cantor Amy, I'm not familiar with that melody, but I'm officially obsessed with it.
Can I tell you where it comes from? So I got it from the, what's it called? Kehilat Zion in Yerushalayim from Tamar Applebaum.
Such a beautiful community and such a beautiful melody. And I love that we have matching headgear for this Shabbos. We both went with a full head kippah, me because I'm balding, you just because it's whatever you picked. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It is good to be with you in this virtual community celebrating Shabbat together. The Kabbalat Shabbat service is a relatively new addition to Jewish life. It's only about 400 or 500 years old, which makes it basically a baby in the span of Jewish time. It was a spiritual technology invented by the mystics of the city of Tzfat in the north of Israel, who would go out into the fields and orchards to sing this series of psalms and to bring themselves step by step through the week which had passed until they got to the moment of welcoming the bride of Lachadodi, inviting Shabbat to be with us. As we sing through these same psalms that they sang all those years ago, invite you in your mind to scan over your week, to think about the moments of pride from the week that's passed, the moments in which you did well in the world, and the moments of stumble, the moments of challenge, the moments that we all wish we could take back or do a little bit differently. I want you most of all, as you scan back through the week, with a sense of the pride, with a sense of the challenge, to find in yourself gratitude. Gratitude for each one of those God-given days. Gratitude for all of it, the great and the challenging, the messy and the beautiful, that all made up this last week of life. We'll sing through these psalms together as we journey through the week that was past and into Shabbat.
Something I'm really grateful for was that Shabbat we did with the camp kids today. That was so fun. And their voices singing out. And we started out like this. We did a call and response. Rabbi Adam, I'm putting you on the spot. I did not approve this, but how do you feel about a little call and response? Is that okay?
I'm feeling brave this week.
Okay, you can do it. Here we go. Lechu neranena L'Adonai
Adonai
Nabria
Nariya
Letzu Yishenu
Etzo Yishenu
Nekadma Fanav
Ekad Mafanav
Betoda
Betoda
Vizmirot
Miro
Narialo
Arialo
Lechu neranena L'Adonai Nabria Letzu Yishenu Nekadma Fanav Betoda Vizmirot Narialo. Clap, clap, clap. Lechu neranena L'Adonai Nabria Letzu Yishenu Nekadma Fanav Betoda Vizmirot Narialo. Okay. Ki el gadol Adonai U'mal gadol al kol Elohim Asher biyado mechkari haaretz V'to'afot harim lo Asher lo hayom vehu asahu V'yabeshet yadav yatzamu Bo nishtachave v'nikra Nivracha livnei Adonai Oseinu Lechu neranena L'Adonai Nabria Letzu Yishenu Nekadma Fanav Betoda Vizmirot Narialo. Lechu neranena L'Adonai Nabria Letzu Yishenu Nekadma Fanav Betoda Vizmirot Narialo. Ki hu Eloheinu Va'anachnu amarito v'tzon yado Hayom im bekolo tishma'u Al takshu levavchem kimriva Ki yom asa b'midbar Asher nisuni avotechem V'chanuni gam ra'u fo'ali Lechu neranena L'Adonai Nabria Letzu Yishenu Nekadma Fanav Betoda Vizmirot Narialo. Lechu neranena L'Adonai Nabria Letzu Yishenu Nekadma Fanav Betoda Vizmirot Narialo. You did so well, Rabbi. Let's do a little more call and response. Arba'im Shana
Aim Shana
Akud Bedor
Akud Bedor
Va'omar
Aomar
Am Toye Levavhem
Am Tuelevavhem
V'hem lo yadeu
Hem Lo Yadu
Derachai.
Derachai
I'll do this part. Asher nishbati v'pi Im eva'un al manuchati And I'm reminded, while we just sang that last little bit of Psalm 95, I've been working on these recordings of Friday night. I hope to put them on our website. I know there's people who want to work on their Friday night davening, and I just recorded that little call and response that we did, and my kids responded, and it turned out really cool. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. So, all right, so here we go.
Mizmor Shir Ladonai Shir Chadash Ki Niflaot Asa Hoshia Lo Yamino Uzroa Kodsho. A psalm, sing to Adonai a new song, for Adonai has worked wonders. God's right hand and holy arm has brought deliverance. God declares deliverance as the nations looked on, and God's righteousness was revealed. Psalm 98, Midrash Tanchuma says, is the final psalm that we will sing with the coming of the Messiah. The Midrash lays out 10 of the most profound songs of the Jewish people, from the song that we sang upon the crossing of the Red Sea to the victory song of Deborah, the prophetess, to a few of their favorite of the Psalms. But Psalm 98, this psalm which we are about to sing together, they said would be the crown jewel of all of them. It would be the song that we would sing upon the moment of our communal liberation, our communal redemption, when justice will triumph over all, when peace will reign eternal. Invite us in this moment as we come into Shabbat to imagine what that might feel like, to imagine the headlines that say that nation will not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore, to imagine that it might be possible, to imagine that we ourselves, or maybe our children or grandchildren might see it, to not lose hope in the possibility of an entirely different kind of world. We sing together Psalm 98, a psalm of hope.
Zamruya, 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 Bechinu, Bechinu, Kol Zimra, Zamruya, Bechinu, Bechinu, Kol Zimra, Bechanzot Zerot, Kol Shofar, Abi Il Adonai Mivakadesh, Kol Adonai Yechol Ayalo, Vayechaso, Ye'aro, Uvehechalo, Kolo Omer Kavod. Hey, yeah, Adonai, Lama Abu Yashav V'yeshev Adonai, Malach Le'olam, Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitzeh, Adonai Yevarech et Amo Bashalom. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, na, na, yeah, yeah. Yeah, na, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, na, na, yeah, yeah.
Rabbi, you know what this reminds me of when we're just singing the song? Two things. First of all, I think it's been a year. This is the first service we've done together in a year. And we did all those services up at the AJU on the hill, those beautiful Shabbat under the stars that you put on up there. And I remember playing this Mizmor LaDavid over and over, and people dancing and dancing when we were on the hill and when we were in the little chapel. And I just remembered that. So how fun that we get to do this.
Such a sweet memory. And our first Friday night service together. We've done a few Shabbat mornings together, but these moments are really, really sweet. For those who have been to the services that Cantor and Amy and I have done together in person over the last few weeks, you know that I've been getting quite insistent on taking some time for people to greet one another, to welcome newcomers, to tell people how much it matters to them to see their faces, especially after these 2.5 years of so much distance, to celebrate the joy of being together. Lecha Dodi is a psalm of welcoming in, or a song of welcoming in Shabbat personified as a lover, as a queen, as a bride. But before we can greet Shabbat, we need the chance to greet one another. One of the blessings of doing this before the sun has gone down, before we've lit our candles yet, is that it is still okay to write at this point. If you feel moved to do so, and I hope that you will, write a Shabbat Shalom into the chat on YouTube. It would be so wonderful to know who it is that we are singing and praying with. And if you feel moved to write beyond just your names, but to write a brief blessing to those of us who are here, blessing us with a week of good things, with a week of health, with a week of peace. Would love to take this opportunity as we start to move into Lecha Dodi and welcoming Shabbat, to be welcoming toward one another. So you can keep writing as the cantor starts to sing the melody, and please join in with us.
So I can see the chat right now, and I want to say hello to Mimi Goldstein and to Howard Dragutsky and Joan Spiegel and Mark Suskin, Shabbat Shalom, and Zelda. So Shabbat Shalom to all of you. It's so nice to hear from you.
Lecha Dodi Likvat Ka'ala Pene Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likvat Ka'ala Pene Shabbat Nekabela שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המלוכה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשמו תפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי בעורר קומי אורי 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 שיר דפי בי כבוד שמחה וצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה מזמור שיר ליום השבת אין טוב להודות לאדוני מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות צדיק הכתמה יברח כארז בלבנון יסגר שתולים בבית אדוני בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובו בסבא דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולת בו מכל עוד מים רבים אדירים משברי ים אדיב במרום אדוני עדותיך נעמנו מאוד לבית חנה בקודש אדוני לאורך ימים
Beautiful way to start Shabbat. Thank you to everybody who shared blessings of Shabbat Shalom into the chat. And I see that we are joined by Jan Schultz and wishing you comfort on this week in which you say goodbye to your father. Say to you, Hamakom Yenachem Etchem B'toch Shar Avilei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May your heart know comfort together with all those who mourn. And for everybody else who is here tonight, either with joy in your heart or with struggle in your heart, we are glad that you are here and glad that we can welcome in Shabbat together with you. Just a brief word about the Torah portion that we read tomorrow, and one of the stories that is quite beloved of mine, I know of many others. It's the story of the daughters of Tzlofchad. There was a law laid down by Moses at the behest of God that said that only sons could inherit property in Israel. And yet it happened that one man had 5 daughters and no sons, an ancient Tevye, and he passed, leaving no male heirs to collect his property. And the daughters come to Moses with a one-word question: Lama? Why? Why is it that only males can inherit? Why should this be the law? Is it just that our father's name, that our family name be erased from history? Go to God. Go to God for new judgment. And Moses I imagine with some trepidation, turns to the Holy One and says, I have these 5 women knocking at my door with this question. I don't know, God, do you think you want to reconsider? And the Holy One thinks for a moment and says to Moses, the cause of the daughters of Tzlofchad is just, the law is therefore changed. For those who were with us for Shabbat under the stars last week, and we were more than 100 here on the courtyard for a really beautiful Friday night service, I talked about what I believe is the most religious of all words. It's a short word, but a powerful one. The word is wow. Wow, that word of wonder and amazement is the beginning of all authentic spirituality. The capacity to stand in wonder at God's creation and feel the sense of the closeness of the artist through the artistry is a profound spiritual gift. I want to share another word which I consider a close contender, another 3-letter W word, close contender for most religious word, which is why. Why? The capacity to ask why, the capacity to look at the world as it is and say, this need not be the world that we pass to our children and grandchildren, that the brokenness that we see around us need not be perpetuated forever just because it's the way things have always been done. To stand up to systems of oppression, to stand up to unjust laws, to stand up even to God and say why is in our tradition not a heresy. It is a profound expression of being bought into our faith. That we are a tradition of questioners, we are a tradition of wrestlers, we are a lama people, we are a why people. And with that why, with our capacity to ask why, we open doors to new possibilities. We make the dream of the world we want to live in just a little bit closer to reality. Last week, I blessed this community with the capacity to say, wow. This week, I bless it with the obligation to say why, to stand up for justice, to stand for the cause of the most vulnerable, to, with brave hearts, ask the question that needs to be asked so that the world can continue to turn forward. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I love that Torah, Rabbi. Wow and why. So before we do the Mourner's Kaddish, how about we pause here and do a special prayer of healing. You can call to mind the people in your circle of friends and family. I'm thinking particularly of a friend, Yirmiyahu Bat Sarah.
אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, בחבליה הוא יברך וירפא את החולים.
those in our community and in our hearts who are facing illness in this moment. May they experience a healing of body and of spirit. And we all say together, wherever we are, Amen. Shabbat is an opportunity to come together in joyful song, in learning, and in reflection. It's also a space of memory, a place where we make attestation to the truth that people die, but love does not. And we say Kaddish now in memory of those who we hold in our hearts. If you're saying Kaddish, I invite you to join me. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbi.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. B'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbi mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Damiran v'yalma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Before we conclude with a final song and send you off to hopefully a Shabbat dinner and an evening of peace, I'll offer a final blessing. If you are sitting right now with a loved one, this is a good time to put your arm around them. If you are not sitting physically close to somebody, know that you are close to all of us, a part of our community spread out across the country, across the world. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, God and God of all those who came before us. We ask your blessing this Shabbat. We ask for you to awaken in our hearts a sense of wonder and the courage to ask why. We ask for you to be with us in our sickness and in our sorrow, and also to be with us in our joy and our laughter, to be with us through the whole sacred messiness of life. God, we thank you for the gift of Shabbat, for the gift of rest and reconnection, for the sweet quiet of this day, for the blessing of its presence every week in our lives. Yihi shalom b'helech shalva b'manatayich. May there be peace in our homes, tranquility in our hearts. And let us say together, Amen.
Amen.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Hamlachim Bakadosh Baruch Hu. Ba'achem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you, Cantor Amy, for the beautiful melodies and the
Thank you,
beautiful
Rabbi.
neshama. To all those who are close enough to come join us, we hope to see you tomorrow morning at 9:30 for Shabbat service all together. Wishing you